My selfish sister-in-law exploded at us when we told her that we were waiting for my mother's cancer test results, and it was all over her wedding. My sister-in-law is getting married, but has had very little contact with us before the wedding. Any contact initiated has been us visiting my husband's family, which is out of state and is a 14 to 16-hour drive each way. I have always gotten along with my sister-in-law despite her almost too nice attitude, but this was a whole side of her that my husband has told me about, but I had never actually seen. So basically, my mother has been diagnosed with cancer, and has had to have many treatments, including surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. Before all of these treatments, we had to wait on a test to determine which stage of cancer she was in. When we were waiting on my mother's cancer test results, we would know in 3 days, and the cancer test results could be absolutely devastating and could let us know how long my mother had to live. Every day seemed like an eternity. During this time, my sister-in-law called my husband and I to ask us exactly which role we and our children would have in her wedding. She knew exactly what position we were in, and we told her on the phone call repeatedly what was happening. At this point, how long we could stay and what we could do would be determined by my mother's test results, since we still had many months left before my sister-in-law's wedding. We did not know if we would have to be planning my mother's funeral at this point. We only had 3 days before we would know a lot more to give her an accurate answer. This was also the first and only time she's ever called us in 15 years of our marriage. She began asking us exactly what we would be doing at her wedding, what day we would be there, and how long we could stay. My husband and I repeatedly told her that there's no way we could know during this phone call what we would be capable of doing 7 months from then, and we'd have a better idea once we got the test results. We repeatedly told her that that would take 3 days. During this phone call, she began getting upset and angry with us, using her sassiest and grainiest Valley Girl voice, to tell us that she needed to know, by tomorrow, what we could do during the reception, and what our children could do during the reception. She insisted on knowing by the next day, and began getting very angry with us. We were really calm, and kept trying to calmly explain again the position we were in, as I couldn't fathom that she would have such an attitude of insistence in the situation we were in. She began insisting that she needed our children and us to help her set up chairs, serve people's food, and clean up after the reception. Overall, she wanted to know immediately what roles we could play in giving her free labor-intensive roles at her discretion, so she could save money on their wedding. Mind you, we would be driving 16 hours to come serve her, while my mother needed me for help after having been diagnosed with cancer. I still would have gone to her wedding before this phone call and figured out how to help my mother as well, if my mother's stage of cancer wasn't as severe. It turned out my mother's cancer has since spread to her bones, and she is not in good shape.